ಪಡಿಸಿದಳೆ ಯಶೋದ
The very first recording which she gave was when she was 10 years old. Learnt her music from her mother, Vidushi Shanmugavadi Vammal. The house in which she was born is a very small house. Even 2 autos cannot go. One of her neighbors had a radio. They used to play Hindustani music in those days. Entire life, grandmother never liked thick coffee. She was the Everest of music, that humility and respect for the audience.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೈನೋಟ್ ಮಾಲಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು
ಆತ್ಮವದೇವ ಪರಾನಪಿ ಪಶ್ಯತ ಮೋದಕಂ ಸದಾ ವಿಮುಕ್ತಿ ಸಾಧಕಂ.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳೇ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆಕೆ ಹಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನು ಕೇಳೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ನಮ್ಮ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಅಥವಾ ಪೂರ್ವ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೂ ಸರಿ MS ಅಮ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಅವ್ರ ಹಾಡು ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಕಿವಿ ವೇಸ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹರ್ ಪ್ರೊವೆಸ್. ಅಂಥವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಶನ ಏರ್ಪಾಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಭಾರತ ರತ್ನ MS ಸುಬ್ಬಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಲು ಅವರ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸುಬ್ಬಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಸಂಗೀತದ ಮನೆತನದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋರು. ಅವರ ತಾಯಿ ಷಣ್ಮುಗವಡಿಯು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವೈಣಿಕ ವಿದೂಷಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಗಾಯಕಿ. Srinivasan sir, welcome to our High Note program.
Thank you. I am indeed grateful to Hosadigantha and Anoor Ananthakrishna Sharma Foundation for having me here. Thank you so much.
You coming here and spending the time to give us a lot of inputs which we don't know. Of course, there are books, documentaries, and everything on MS
Sure.
Amma. And everyone has heard. Of course, even in Tirupati, the Suprabhatam is from her.
ಕೌಸಲ್ಯಾ ಸುಪ್ರಜಾ ರಾಮ ಪೂರ್ವ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾ ಪ್ರವರ್ತತೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠ ನರಶಾರ್ದೂಲ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಂ ದೈವಮಾನ್ಹಿಕಂ.
The first question will be for you only.
Okay.
How you feel to be in this family? Because as a grandson of MS Amma, the son of Vidushi Mani, and who used to sing along with MS Amma, that's your mother, Vidushi Mani, Radha Vishwanathan. How you feel?
Actually, there is a both sense of pride as well as responsibility. Very happy because to be in this family and to see her from close quarters. I have actually lived 41 years of my life with her. So I have seen and observed her at close quarters for a very long period of time. And therefore, when I talk, I can give you some insights which probably you might not have heard before. At the same time, it is a very big responsibility because the Sangeeta Parampara is being continued by my daughters,
Yes.
Aishwarya and Saundarya. And therefore, to live up to the very high standards which my grandmother and mother have set, that was a golden
I
era.
also accompanied once.
Yes.
Aishwarya and Saundarya. They are doing good.
Oh, thank you, sir. We are indeed fortunate.
Saundarya is, of course, a dancer and also a violinist in both
Yes,
these styles, Western and Carnatic.
True.
ನಿನ್ನ ನಾಮದ ಸ್ಮರಣೆಯ ಸಾರಾಮೃತವು ಎನ್ನ ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಬರ ಬರಲಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ.
Let's begin with the teenager Subbulakshmi ma'am. How she started her music? Of course, you said, and it's there, she started singing from 6-7 years.
Yes.
Can you just explain about her?
The very first recording which she gave was when she was 10 years old.
That means in 20 or 19...
It must be 1926.
Oh.
And
Those times it was some HMV or something like that.
yes. And the song was around 10 minutes or so. She learnt her music from her mother, Vidushi Shanmugavadi Vammal, who was a very popular Vainika in those days in Madurai.
Dhanammal was her...
Dhanammal and my grandmother's mother were also in a way related.
Okay. Of course, they come in the same family tree.
Same family tree. And they were also very close to each other. So Dhanammal has also heard my grandmother sing, and she was amazed at the quality of her voice in those days. My grandmother also had a younger sister called Vadivambal and an elder brother called Shaktivel, who used to play the mridangam.
Oh.
Vadivambal used to play the veena. Unfortunately, she passed away at a very young age.
Oh.
But there are pictures of Vadivambal and my grandmother also. In those days, they had nothing but practice. And the house in which he was born is a very small house. It is still existing today. No, in Madurai,
yeah.
in a lane called Hanumantarayan Kovil Street, very close to the Meenakshi temple. It is so narrow that even 2 autos cannot go.
That M stands for Madurai.
And S stands for Shanmugavadi, her mother's name.
Oh, it's very rare.
So, like even ML Vasanta Kumari had ML. M is for Madras, L is for her mother Lalita. In this small lane, they used to practice music, dance, veena, and apparently she used to listen to, one of her neighbors had a radio, and they used to play Hindustani music in those days. So my grandmother has listened to Roshnara Begum singing, Yaman Kalyani and all. Some of my grandmother's Yaman Kalyani will have traces of Roshnara Begum because of the influence of that music in her young days. Also, my grandmother's father was Madurai Subramanya Iyer. He was an advocate. And during the temple festivals, apparently he used to carry her around the temple when the Thair used to go, chariot. So he used to call her Rajati in the pet name, Rajati Amma, Rajati. And one thing which I remember her telling is that those were the days when they were not very rich, and a lot of difficulty for money also was there. And they used to travel by trains. I'm talking of 1930s and 40s. Sometimes they used to sleep in the nights at the station itself. Early morning, somebody used to serve coffee. That coffee used to be very, not thick coffee, but very thin.
Yeah.
More water, less milk.
Saturated. Yeah.
So,
more sugar.
But even, entire life, my grandmother never liked thick coffee. because of her experiences with this thin, watery coffee.
Railway coffee.
She used to, even in the house, or when we used to go to someone's house and they used to ask for coffee, she used to say, "Konjam thanni nariya oothi kudu." Let it be watery. So she never enjoyed thick coffee. Also, in those days, they used to grind coriander seeds and make, sort of, whenever there was no coffee powder, the coriander seeds used to
Sukku coffee. Yeah.
and with dried ginger. So that was one of the beverages which was served to members visiting our house in Kotrapuram, where my grandmother used to stay.
It's like a kashayam.
Kashayam. So whoever used to come, we used to have that
Be good for the throat also.
with little jaggery,
Jaggery.
coriander seeds, dried ginger, and little milk, and it used to be a wonderful drink. So if you come to MS house, you will definitely have shukku coffee. That was a trademark of her, what would you call, hospitality.
I have told already, I think she started performing in her very early age, by before 10 or so. So, when she used to practice, and has she shared any anecdotes or anything about her practice in her early days? And her guru was her mother.
First guru was her mother.
And I know that later on she was a Manasika Guru or Shaman Gudi.
No, actually, she learnt a lot from Samangudi. In her early days, if you see my grandmother's adherence to the Shruti was perfect, pitch perfect Shruti, we can call it. But this was a skill which she had practiced a lot in her young days. So used to play the tambura. And then sing a sa or something, and go out of a little away and sing for some time, then come back, again play the tambura and see if the Shruti is still there.
This was the thing which my father was also doing sometimes.
Correct.
Used to tap, and we had the gap. Those times, the house was not built from wall to wall.
Yes,
so
yes.
Used to
Lot
say,
of spaces.
Come around. Telling takadimi. So if I come, it should match. Even for Shruti, we used to do that.
So
this
these
is
were
great.
some small exercises which she used to do.
Of course.
And later on, of course, my mother used to say that early mornings she used to get up and do akara sadhakam. And always sarali varse, jante varse, she always used to sing. It was not that if she has become a great musician, she forgets the basics.
The warm-up exercise.
Warm-up is all. Even she used to sing sarali varse, jante varse. I remember her advising my daughter Aishwarya when she was a small girl, vaai vittu akaram, janta varsa akaram pannu, she said.
And those days, I think, open throat. They were not depending on the mic.
Mic. So she used to emphasize on practice. And even prior to her concerts, she was very disciplined and systematic before going to a concert. Always she used to be there around 45 minutes to 1 hour before the kacheri used to begin. Before the kacheri, they used to tune the tanpuras, Lakshmi and Saraswati. And while tuning the tampura, she used to practice Shankaravarnam Alankaram. Both my mother and grandmother will sing alternatively. There, Murthy Mama, V.V. Subramaniam sir, all will be watching them practice. So, very fast Alankaram she used to sing in Akaram. And then, in great humility, she will say, sometimes she used to tell me, Chinu, paranga, kootam vandirka parunu. So I used to go and just peep from behind the curtain. MS concert means houseful.
Houseful.
All half an hour before the stage used to be full, and people used to be Not only the chairs, even
on the stage.
Everywhere. Then I'll come
Back
and
up
tell
the
her.
stage.
I'll tell her, Party, ரொம்ப ஃபுல்லாகிடுது hall. Then she will say, பகவானே நான் நல்லா பாடணும், இவ்வளோ ஜனங்க வந்திருக்கா என்னை கேட்கறதுக்கு. Then I used to be amazed. What humility and what that bhavyam, that commitment towards the audience. She could have easily been at that, she was the Everest of music. She did not have that much of bhavyam, but she had that humility and respect for the audience. She used to say, they have paid so much to come and listen to me.
Of course.
I should sing
That
my
honesty.
best. Honesty. Then she used to go onto the stage, and while the others are seated, usually she will stand on the stage. As the curtains go up, she will be standing and she will do a namaskara to the audience, then sit down.
ಭುಜಗೇಂದ್ರಶಾಯಿ ನಂಸಾಂಕಶಾಯಿ ಕಮಲಾಂಕಶಾಯಿ ಕ್ಷೀರಾಭಿಷಾಯಿ ವಟಪತ್ರಶಾಯಿ.
Once she starts singing, she becomes a different person. The personality herself changes. There, Goddess Saraswati takes over her, because
Totally transformed.
That the same person who told that she is afraid and that complete change. There she is in total command of her.
I think she will be seeing only the God and the music. I've seen from a distance in Ramsaya Mandli.
Ramsaya Mandli, correct.
We didn't have much money to buy the ticket, and even my father used to say, go and listen any program, do not say my name, we have to go. So we used to sit on that park is there. Just sit.
Correct.
It was, we have seen several concerts.
Ramaseva Mandli was the place where she sang for around 40 years or so.
That was a fixed
Correct.
fixture for every year. So, and I also came to know from someone who was very close to her. She was not talking on one day in the week because of her voice. Is that true? She used to keep silent.
I don't think it's like because of her commitments, she could not completely
Maybe
be silent.
she used to
But
strain less.
She used to talk very softly.
Uh-huh.
I have never seen her shouting. Never shouting.
No angry.
No anger. Anger may be there, but even
No
then she will not
Tarastai
shout.
dialogues.
Very soft. I have never seen her raise her voice. And she will always tell us also not to shout, or Shantam. That was part of her personality. So probably she was one of the few musicians who preserved her voice right up to the end. Balamurli sir was also,
Yeah, of course.
he also preserved his voice beautifully.
ದೈವದತ್ತಮ ಕೊಡುತ್ತ ಅವರು
Correct.
ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಅದು ಆ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ನ ಆ ಕಂಠನ ಹಾಗೆ ರಕ್ಷಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರು ಕಡೇ ದಿನದವರೆಗೂ ಬಾಲ್ಮುರಳಿಯವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ MS ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನೆವರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ಡ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೋಟ್
No.
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ನೋ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 7 decades.
7 decades performance. And even
And
her...
also with the busy schedule.
True.
And in those days, you've already told about the train or bus.
Yes.
The traveling was not a
Correct.
cup of cake.
Traveling was very difficult.
Even 2 to 3 days for Delhi or Calcutta.
Yes. I have traveled a lot with my grandmother on trains. It used to be very entertaining. So, for example, Calcutta means probably Howrah Mail.
Howrah Mail.
So we used to leave in the night
Mail
from
was
Chennai.
that GT, Grand Trunk.
DT is for Delhi, Grand Trunk
Oh,
Express.
okay.
And Bombay probably used to be Bombay Mail or Dadar Express.
Rather.
Usually night times they used to start, and the entire team, the two tamburas, Mridanga
tamburas
Vidwan, always there. Murthy Mama, or sometimes Karekudi Mani sir, Vikku Vinayakaram,
Harishankar,
VVS, and sometimes Kandadevi Alagiri Swami sir.
Swami.
The entire
Even
team used to go.
Kutralam Vishwanathayar was also playing.
Yes. So when they used to travel, usually in those days it used to be a first class coupe. So you will have the privacy of a coupe, and you can actually sing songs. All Naraval Swarams and all you can sing. I remember Murthy Mama told me once that உனக்கு தெரியுமா, your grandmother sang Mani Rangu for 1 hour, he said. I was surprised because she's never done Mani Rangu Alapane in a concert, but in the train all that was possible. Because there was no pressure of time and they were all happy. Whatever audience was there, very knowledgeable audience.
Learned audience.
So, and exchange of ideas. My grandfather used to play cards.
Oh.
So, there was no money involved in cards. It was, I think, 1 paisa or 2 paise.
Only
was,
fun.
Fun. So, they used to have that he used to convert all the currency to small change. And everybody he used to give some money. Sometimes even Samugudi Mama used to come with us. So, the maximum you could lose was 2 rupees. If you do a wrong dick in Rummy,
Okay.
then you have to pay 2 rupees to...
Actually, I'm really zero in that.
So, as...
So MSMA was also playing.
No, she never used to play. She only used to watch.
The other artists.
Other artists will play. Vikku Vinayakaram never used to play. Vinayakaram sir used to only watch. I think he had a... he said... cards game is not for me. So, but he also used to watch them play. It used to be a lot of fun because, as you said, 2.5 days has to be spent.
Yes. I have gone.
So, and every station, there used to be somebody who comes with the hot food. Say Vijayawada, Walter, Kharagpur. Then, of course, by the time they'll reach Calcutta, they will get, they'll be received by the hosts. So, enjoyable days. Those days will never come again. Today we are all in, nobody travels by train nowadays.
Hurry, burry.
Everybody has to travel by flight.
You see, the thing is, of course, in flight, you can go as quickly as possible.
Yes.
But you won't see the fun of countryside, greenery, river,
Very
nothing. Just sit and you just get on.
True. As you know, we cross Krishna River.
Yeah.
We'll all be given some coins as children to drop into the river. So, and also Godavari, when we cross Yanam, Godavari River, we'll
That's
drop
a
some
long
coins.
bridge.
Long bridge.
Yeah, that was also fun. Buying something, buying Belpuris
Yes.
those things. Those days there was no Bisleri, any mineral water. We used to drink the water of the station itself. Just when the train stops, we used to run.
Very true.
Filled your bottle, nothing was happening.
Very true, sir.
Great, sir. And I also know she had sung in several languages.
True.
Not only Tamil, of course, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and Kannada. Kannada, of course, lots of Dasarapada.
Chandra Chuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramanane Ninage Namo Namo.
Like Marathi, she used to sing Hindi and Bengali also. And I came to know that whenever she learned any song, she used to call some scholar of that language.
Correct. Very true.
And make sure the pronunciation, how to pronounce and everything.
Very true. So, actually, she has sung in around 15 languages, including foreign languages. She has sung
In English also.
English, one in the United Nations. She has sung in Japanese, and she has also sung in Arabic. So Japanese and Arabic she sang at the Asia Pacific Ophthalmic Conference. So there was a multilingual prayer where she sang she sang in Sanskrit, then she sang in Arabic, then Japanese, then English, and lastly she concluded in Tamil. So this was in Chennai. She was always perfect in her pronunciation. She had experts who taught her. For example, in Bengali, she had Dilip Kumar Roy, who was the son of Dwijendra Lal Roy, one of the great poets, and was a contemporary of Rabindranath Tagore. Dwijendra Lal Roy wrote the famous song Dhano Dhanna Pushpe Bhora, which was also considered for the national anthem, along with Vande Mataram and Jana Gana Mana.
Dhanu Dhanna Pushpe Bhora Hamar Deshe Vasundhara Tahar Majhe Ashe Desha.
So his son Dilip Kumar Roy was a disciple of Aurobindo and fellow student of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So, very brilliant person. He stayed in Pondicherry. He used to come home in the 1930s, 1940s to our home called Kalki Gardens. And there he used to teach my grandmother Meera Bhajans, Bengali songs.
Even Rabindra Sangeet also she had sung.
She has sung, Hey Nutan and all that. Well, there is one interesting anecdote which Dilip Kumar Roy himself used to say. So, he used to come from Pondicherry. And he used to stay at a place called Ramakrishna Lunch Home. They had lodging as well as boarding. So early morning, they used to go to the place to have tiffin. And then from there, they used to take a tram and come home to where my grandmother stayed at Chetpet in Chennai. So this Ramakrishna Lunch Home was in Paris, which is where the High Court and all is in Madras. So while having breakfast, Dilip Kumar Roy's disciple told the person at the counter, that he's a very great singer, Dilip Kumar Roy. He's come from Pondicherry. So this owner of the hotel, he very casually said, bearer, coffee, please bring coffee. Then the disciple told the owner, he's actually come to teach M.S. Subbulakshmi Amma. Owner was shocked. M.S. Subbulakshmi Amma, he is teaching her. Yes, he told. Bearer, special coffee, he said. So Dilip Kumar Roy has told this around hundreds of times. I have also heard it. He used to laugh. He said, Amma, after hearing your name, I got special coffee.
The concert, how was the concert preparation? Of course, you have told she used to go early.
Yes.
Before that, she used to plan according to the various situations or she used to decide there itself.
Actually, her concert preparations were done much in advance. Every concert was prepared. She has never sung an unprepared concert, except probably listener request might be there.
Tukadas here and there.
Otherwise, all her concerts used to be planned.
Well prepared.
What she is going to sing, she knows. And my grandfather used to sit with my grandmother and mother and prepare the list. I have been witness to many such occasions when I used to be a silent person just watching. So he used to tell the sequence of songs, and if at all there was anything which she wanted to say or sing, she will tell at that time. My grandfather's decision was final. He was the person who used to decide what she should sing. If you look at her career, maximum number of ragas, if you see, Shankaravarnam would have been her number one raga. Kamboji, Kalyani will be second and third. Then there will be Bhairavi, Karahara Priya, among Keeravani. Keeravani is also a raga which she has sung quite a lot. So Shankaravarnam was a raga which my grandfather also liked, and my grandmother also was, when she sang Shankaravarnam, she could literally move the audience to tears, especially when she hits the Panchamam, Tarastai Panchamam. She was 100%, the entire audience will applaud. But this concert list, after the Taniyavardhanam, there will be a long list of bhajans, Dasar Padas, then Tirupugar, a lot of other songs. So her post Taniyavardhanam section used to be as enjoyable as the main section. And in fact, people, the audience used to come for both. None of them used to leave. Entire 3 hours or 4 hours, not one person will leave the hall. Complete control on the audience she'll have.
Those days it was almost a 3 hours concert.
3 hours concert. She has sung 5 hours or 6 hours also. There was one concert in Jaffna in Sri Lanka where she sang for around 5 hours, and she sang 5 ragas. Very heavy. Shankaravarnam, Bhairavi, Kamboji, I think Keeravani, and maybe another one more raga. 5 ragas she sang, and one Ragam Tanam Pallavi. Heavy concert.
The same set of Pakwadyam.
1950s. Venkatrama Shastri was there.
Okay, R.K.
Venkatrama Shastri sir was there. And I think V. Nagarajan sir used to play Mridangam in those days. Oh. Later on, he switched to Ganjira.
Those days, a lot of Vidwans, they used to travel for Ceylon.
Yes,
From
yes,
there
yes.
also the Nadaswaram.
Yes.
It's all Tamil-based.
Tamil-based,
Island, Jaffna Island. Only after that LTT incident, it all became less. But then, now they have...
Now again they have started, but for around 25-30 years, we could not travel to Lanka.
Yeah, of course.
Due to the issues which were prevailing in Lanka.
So you said it's all prepared concert. And how your mother, Joshimani, Radha Vishwanathan and MS, but they used to practice regularly? Yes.
Their practice sessions usually used to happen at Kalki Gardens. Apart from Akara Sadhakam, which they used to do in the mornings, my mother was very particular that her voice has to be perfect, because she is accompanying the great MS Amma.
Yeah.
At no place should anyone say that you spoiled the concert of MS Amma, because somehow both their voices merged very well, like milk and sugar. The synergy of both the voices was excellent. And the practice sessions at home, the Vidwans also used to come. Murthy Mama used to come, VVS sir used to be there, Adagiri Swami sir, sometimes Shamangudi Amma used to be there, Veena K.S. Narayana Swami sir, sometimes Mushiri sir. It used to be, the house used to reverberate with music from, say, morning 10 o'clock to afternoon 3 o'clock. All top Vidwans used to be there. And as
academic sessions.
Academic sessions. So a lot of laughter, lot of music. So I remember VVS sir telling
A lot
me,
of exchanges. Ideas. Mm.
you know, VVS sir will say that, you know, when Samangudiyamma teaches your grandmother, when he sings O Rangasai, he will sing like a, you know, Singam, the manly style will come forth. The greatness of your grandmother is she will take it from Samangudiyamma, but when she sings, she will bring out the feminine in her voice. She will not sing like Samangudiyamma. That is the greatness of your grandmother, he will say.
Adapting to her own style and her voice.
Immediately she will transform, it seems. Just she will listen to him sing. The moment she repeats it, it will be in the feminine voice. I mean, feminine, the beauty of the feminine. Samangudiyamma's singing has to be down. That male, you know, the way he sings Orangasai is different. The way she sings, it will be the same, but the beauty of the feminine will be visible in her voice. And which VVS Mama used to do. He used to say that is extraordinary. Nobody has taught her that. It used to come naturally for her.
I think that adaptability and by birth, that music quality is everything.
Correct.
And a few of the songs, of course, like Rangapura Vihara, Bhajagovindam, and Maitri Bhajatam, of course, later on.
Yes.
So many of these songs.
Bhajata akhilakh jetri atmavadeva paranapi pashyata atmavadeva.
It has the stamp of that style of MS.
Very true. That authority of...
yes. Because it shows the confidence.
Yes, very true.
And every time it's the same. 10 out of 10. No 9.5 or 9, 3/4, something like that. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
That alignment, the Shruti perfection, Laya, everything.
Hard work used to go.
Of course, as you said, every day she used to practice.
Yes.
Not even one day without that.
No.
The day starts with the music. Ends with the music. How you can put the role of your grandfather in the career of MS Amma? I think it's...
Yes. See, actually, for my grandfather, T. Sadasivam sir, he was, his life itself was MS Amma. Like, in those days, if you look at 1930s, 1920s, normally men never used to support their wives a lot.
Yeah.
That was also there. Men generally used to keep...
they weren't allowed to sing.
Not to sing itself. It was opposite. He promoted her in his life itself was how to ensure that this voice becomes known worldwide. He worked in that direction tirelessly and ensured that she had the best musicians to accompany her. In those days, if you remember, female musicians, Vidwans did not play. That was
even
another...
Now there is some...
Even now it is there, but in those days it was very prominent.
Yeah.
But my grandfather ensured that he requested Chowdiah sir, and Chowdiah sir, he played for MS Amma many concerts, the 1940s. And apart from accompaniments, the career of hers, she acted in 4 films.
Yeah.
And all the films became hits.
One with GNB sir.
GNB sir. That was Meera was through Chittor Nagaya.
Okay.
Meera was Shakuntala. And before that was Seva Sadan. Seva Sadan was a film directed by K. Subramaniam sir, who is the father of Padma Vibhushan Padma Subramaniam ji.
Oh.
And he was the person who actually identified my grandmother because he saw her sing at the Mahamaham festival in Kumbakonam when she was around 20 or 22. And he identified her and put her in that movie, Seva Sadan. The very famous song Ma Ramanan in Hindolam. was part of that movie.
Oh,
Which was
Maram.
no, Maram, but was tuned by, Papanasam Sivan.
Oh, yes, Papanas.
Unfortunately, the film was destroyed in a fire. Only the songs remain today.
Oh.
After that particular film, she acted as Narada in a film called Savitri. She acted a male role, Narada. With that money which she got in Narada, the magazine Kalki was launched. I understand in those days she got around 50,000 rupees in 1940s,
Oh.
which was a very huge money.
Maybe 50 crores for
Crores
today.
today. And with that money, the Kalki magazine was launched, in which my grandfather was the managing director and Kalki Krishnamurti, he was the editor. And my grandmother provided the capital. So they are the joint founders of the Kalki magazine.
Even now, Kalki is there?
Kalki is there. It is still continuing. It's almost 85 years old now, the magazine.
You are not into that?
No, my cousins take care.
Okay.
That is my mother's sisters, daughters. They are taking care of the magazine. So grandfather ensured that after Shakuntala, the film Meera was made. Most of the songs which Dilip Kumar Roy, he had taught, those were used for the film Hindi Meera. Meera was made in two languages, Tamil and Hindi. Tamil, you had that famous song Kaatrinile Varum Geetam. In Hindi, we had equally beautiful songs composed by Dilip Kumar Roy, original Meera bhajans. And some were written for this purpose by Pandit Narendra Sharma, by Rehna Tayab ji. After this, Meera became an international, a national success. Pandit Nehru attended the Muhurat, and he was at the entrance welcoming all the guests for the Muhurat of Meera, which was in 1947. So we had Rajendra Prasad, Rajaji, Pandit Nehru, Mountbatten, Edwina Mountbatten, the host of others, all the Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Sarojini Naidu.
It happened in Bombay.
In Delhi.
Delhi.
And it was a mega launch.
Okay.
It's a mega launch. The genius of my grandfather was that after the stupendous success of Meera, he stopped my grandmother from acting in films. She was number one star in those days, musically as well as the Meera became a super hit. A normal person would have said, let us continue in more and more films. With that, he stopped. And the image of Meera as a Bhakti saint, it fitted exactly into the profile of my grandmother. So MS, Bhakti, all became synonymous. And Meera helped a lot in that. And with that image as a Bhakti saint, the Bhakti singer, then, we had Samangudi Mama, Mushrima. She became a pure classical singer after that. Not that she was not classical, but the popularity of cinema combined with her extensive...
Also, she stopped acting.
Stopped acting. And the greatness of my grandmother is she never questioned my grandfather. Maybe some other person might have said, why do you stop me from acting? The moment he said no more films, she also agreed.
That's the trust she had in him.
Complete trust she had in him. And that is why we can say that, my grandfather was, completely responsible for making her an international star beyond comparison.
Yes.
Even without my grandfather, she would have still become a great person, no doubt about it. But there was something in him, in which he could see that this was the person who deserves to be, internationally
Maybe she might have
recognized.
gone to the same status, but he's
Channelized her
channelized and
very
the
beautiful way.
discipline and that the timely acting and
Timely
everything
actor,
and
using her musical gifts for
gifts
benefit,
and corresponding.
See,
I think she might have not done any corresponding.
she never knew anything apart from singing. Whether fixing a concert, what is the remuneration, nothing she will know. She will know that she has to sing. And what all she is required for her as far as singing is concerned, he will ensure that everything is there. In terms of, if they are doing Annamacharya recordings, the best Telugu scholars will come and teach her. I think Kami Shetty Srinivasalu, he was an authority on Annamaya. He taught them all the compositions. Because Annamaya's Telugu is very difficult and different from Tyagaraja's.
Samasat.
So he ensured that the pronunciations were perfect. Whatever inputs musically,
Little more native.
more native. I think 14th century.
Yes,
So
yes.
it is a different Telugu.
Before Trinity only.
Before Trinity.
కొనుడి భక్తి కొండల కోనేటి నిలయుని శ్రీనిధి అయిన వాణి కొలువుడి.
Tell me something about her other activities than music and also about her food practices
Her food practices,
or food choices
she
while traveling and while in the home.
essentially she liked idlis and dosas. Even before concerts, she used to have idlis. Vetta Kodambu was something which she liked, which is made out of tamarind. They call in Tamil they call it Vetta Kodambu.
Vetta Kodambu, yeah.
So she liked that a lot. She liked a lot of tamarind
Oh,
with and
spicy.
spicy. That alone she liked a lot.
Okay.
You can call it one of her favorite dishes. Sweet she could not have because she was highly diabetic.
Oh,
So she was an insulin dependent person almost for after I think 50th year onwards she used to have insulin. So but being a diabetic, she was very, very conscious and had a very controlled diet. Whatever she had, she will have it within limits. Sometimes she used to like badam halwa a lot, but because of her sugar she could not have, but she'll have just a quarter spoon.
a pinch.
Because my grandfather will also insist you can have a little bit.
So she had done a lot of charities. Little more about that.
Actually, she started, I think her first benefit concert was for the Kasturba Memorial Fund in 1944. After which there was a lot of charity concerts for various institutions, like, and also prize money which she used to earn. Like Max's Award, whatever the prize money was there, she donated it to Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Rajaveda Patashala, and voluntary health services. So 1/3 amount was divided amongst the three institutions. Most of her royalties, Suprabhatam royalties and all went to Tirupati.
Oh,
The entire money of Suprabhatam went to Lord Venkateshwara himself.
even the royalty.
Royalty also. She never took any money from that.
उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविन्द उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकान्त त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु मातः समस्त जगतां मधुकैटभारे वक्षो विहारिणि मनोहर दिव्यमूर्ते श्रीस्वामिनि श्रुत जनप्रियदानशीले श्रीवेङ्कटेश दयिते तव सुप्रभातम्.
Similarly, Vishnu Sahasranamam, the royalty went to Ramakrishna Math. Like that, the recordings of Bharadiyar, Shankara Netralaya was given the royalties, And she has sung a lot of benefit concerts for Shankara Netralaya also. There was a period in her life, 1977 or roundabout, where there was, we can call it a bad time, where they had to sell their house and move into a rented house in Chennai itself. There was a very palatial building which they owned. Really a palace with, they had some 20 rooms and a huge garden. And apart from that, they had cows for milk, and even the printing press was in that same area. They had the Kalki magazine. I remember there were 13 watchmen. I mean, Gurkhas. 13 Gurkhas used to be there in that house.
You were also in that house?
I was in that house. I have been there.
Okay.
And the Gurkhas used to have a separate quarters. They used to be from Nepal. And 5 gardeners, 5 drivers used to be there for the cars. It was a very royal, like a queen she lived. And due to some, we can call it bad time, they had to leave everything, and immediately she went to the US that time. And that too for benefit concerts. So for the New York temple at Flushing, she gave a benefit concert there. Meenakshi temple in Houston, she had given.
Houston, yeah.
Like that, many temples in the US also. Pittsburgh.
Flushing temple is a very old one.
Very old.
Of course,
one.
Pittsburgh is also.
Pittsburgh also there. Pittsburgh.
Empathy of US.
Pittsburgh, she sang a benefit concert, and I remember when in Pittsburgh concert when she sang Srinivasa Thiruvenkatamudayan.
Srinivasa Thiruvenkatamudayan Jaya Govinda Mukunda Ananda Srinivasa.
When she came to the Charanam, Jagannatha, she has to sing in Hamsanandi. I think she saw Lord Venkatesh or something. She just froze, and with great difficulty, my mother finished the song. That much of bhakti, she could actually communicate with God, we can say.
She has immersed
herself. Because a person who actually sings will not get that feeling.
Even she was a devotee of Puttaparthi.
She was a very great
regular performer. There.
Yes. She has performed in Puttaparthi many number of times.
Yeah.
A great devotee of Swami, and of course, Pujya Paramacharya of Kanchi.
Kanchi, of course.
They were her gurus, and at every stage she used to take their guidance, including when she went to the United Nations. He gave that song, Maitri Bhajata, and said,
Tell us about that Carnegie Hall incident, and she was the first.
United Nations. United Nations. She was the first musician to sing in the United Nations General Assembly. Actually speaking, she was called to sing in 1965 by the Secretary General of UN. His name was U Thant. He was a Burmese citizen, and he was the Secretary General, and C.V. Narasimhan was the Under Secretary General. So U Thant invited her in 1965. At that time the India-Pak war started. Mm-hmm. So my grandfather said that when the country is at war, it won't be nice if we are going to sing. And, he actually cancelled that concert. Will anyone cancel a United Nations concert? But it shows their, love for the nation. I think it was India-Pakistan war. Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister. China was 62.
62.
This was the
Indo-Pak
war, and he cancelled the concert. I remember there were some appeals by the Prime Minister then during the concerts of MSMA, because large audience used to be there, the government used to appeal for funds, which used to collect. In one such concert, my grandmother removed the gold bangles and gave it. My mother used to say, because for my grandfather's Shashtiyabda Purti, they had just put the bangles, maybe a few months back. And when the government announcement came on the mic, immediately she gave it. For a second, my mother's heart stopped, because she said, my mother and her sister had put that as a gift for the Shashtiyabda Purti. But she gave it to the
Country
government.
came first.
Country came first.
Of course.
That way,
It shows the patriotism. in
very,
her,
very
always.
patriotic. And so they went in 1966, after the war. In 1966, the same United Nations Day, that is October 23rd, Youth Hunt had invited, and they went with Murthy Mama, P.V. Subramaniam, Vikku Vinayakaram. It was arranged by the government of India. So, this particular song, Maitri Bhajate, the Paramacharya had given it to her the previous year itself, actually, because they were supposed to go
Yes.
in 1965. So this song was tuned by Vasant Desai, the great music director at Bombay.
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
Vasant Desai.
In fact, it was tuned at the house of one Kalki Kannan, who was at the time the agent for Kalki in Bombay, almost like a son for my grandfather. So Vasant Desai tuned this song, and I think 2 days he came to that house and tuned that song. Later on, my grandfather sent him a check for 501 rupees in 1965 and presented it to him as a remuneration. After 6 months, the Kalki accountant told, "Sir, looks like check has not been banked. Please check with the artist, Vasant, whether he is not happy with that. I don't know whether he is expecting more remuneration." Then my grandfather sent Kalki Kannan to the house of Vasant Desai and said, as they were talking, he casually asked, "Sir, that check has not been banked. Have you require more?" He said, "It is signed by MS Amma. It is signed by MS Amma." And he showed the wall. He is framed and kept it. He kept it as a memento because it has got a grandmother's signature. So that was the great respect which the artist had.
See, one more thing is sung by M.S. Amma herself.
Herself.
Even today,
Even today, yes.
it's a great message from Periyava.
Yes, yes.
The whole world.
Whole world, correct.
So, everything went on well, and you said about the bad days. And she lived up to 70.
He lived 88 years.
80?
88. When she passed away.
2004.
2004, yes. December 11th, 2004.
Almost 20 years.
Yes. No, this is 20th Remembrance Day.
So, how did you felt then? Because you were there with her for 40 years.
Yes.
More than you, your mother.
Mother is, yes, very true.
I think
There's a very emotional
she
moment.
couldn't believe first.
Actually, she was not keeping in good health for around 2 years prior to that.
That's
She had a fall in 2002, April 2002. And, there's a pelvic bone which got fractured and had to be operated on, and they kept a steel rod. So that was a little difficult for her.
Maybe she also became weak because your
Grandfather also passed away in 1997.
Yeah.
And she stopped singing after that. So she was living a very quiet life. She used to come only to our house, sometimes to my mother's younger sister's house. And otherwise, she never used to travel anywhere. At that time,
She lived alone there.
she was in Kotrapuram. And she was taken care of by, Mr. Atmanathan, who was more like a son to her. He was my grandfather's secretary. And so he took care of her in her own house in Kotrapuram. And when she passed away at the Isabel Nursing Home on December 11th. And immediately, huge crowds on the day of her funeral. We got a call from Rashtrapati Bhavan, President Abdul Kalam, and he said he first requested whether the funeral can be on the next day, because probably he had some commitments that day and he wanted to visit. So we sent a message that we prefer to cremate on the same day. We don't want to postpone. At that time, within half an hour, there was a call from Rashtrapati Bhavan again. Please don't take the body for cremation. President is on his way to the airport. So President, he left from there. He had his own flight, of course, and he came here at around 1 o'clock or so. He paid his last respects along with the governor and chief minister. Everybody was there. And he was in tears, actually. You will be surprised because it was a very sunny day that day. And the government had decided to give her military honors because, and she was the first musician to be given a 24-hour gun salute at her funeral. So the military carriage had come to the house. The moment we, lifted the body, rain started pouring. Hundreds of TV cameras were there. Everybody is asking, where did the rains come from? And everybody are covering their heads and running helter-skelter because unexpected rains.
Yeah.
And the rains just continued till the Besant Nagar crematorium. Till she was cremated in that particular area of Chennai alone, rains were there. It didn't rain in anywhere else. And it was something like a sign from the gods, that this is a blessing. This person who came to this earth and lived such a life. It was the blessings of God which poured in the form of rain, very specifically at that particular area and very close to the It was not raining in Madras, and it was a substantial rain. In that particular area, rain poured as the body was being moved. It was amazing. It was a miracle, we can say. And the next day, the papers reported that people were surprised because it was not predicted that day that was going to rain also. Just it rained for her. Things like these make us believe that, something divinity, but, the existence of God itself, if anyone questions, it is things like this which make us believe.
Some superpower is
definitely
there
it is
to
there.
look after us.
Otherwise, this will not happen.
So the lineage is continuing with your daughters.
Yes.
I also know your wife is also a dancer.
Yes. She teaches.
So how you feel with them?
See, actually, Aishwarya has sung in front of my grandmother. But Saundarya, of course, she was born a few months after my grandmother passed away. So there's the age gap between both of them. So when Aishwarya used to sing in front of my grandmother, she used to appreciate a lot. She used to, feel amazed at the way she put thalam. I have some videos also in which she used to be very amazed at the way she is putting, the thalam for a particular song. And
Maybe she was 5-6 years?
6 years around that time. Then one day she sang Bhavayami Gopalabaram of Annamacharya in front of her.
The highlight of your grandmother.
And she was so moved. That time it was around 2002. She was confined to bed that time because of the fracture and all. But she used to sit down on the bed and listen. When the name Thiruvenkatachala comes, which is the mudra of Annamaya, so immediately her hand will fold. Because in every concert, when the composer's mudra comes, she will fold her hands. Every song. That used to be her trademark. So when Aishwarya was singing as a child, when she sang, grandmother folded her hand because the name of the composer came. Then she had tears rolling down the eyes. After the song was completed, she called me and said, Chinu, in the ponne, yen per edapa, she said. She said that basically meaning that this girl will take over my name. So it was a big blessing from her. And it is all due to her that whatever my daughters are singing today, I always consider her blessings only. Even today, I think she is still living.
Of course.
She is in her...
For any artist, there is no death.
No,
the art will be there.
Art is there, correct.
Yeah, it's always there. Of course, M.S. Sama is heard daily.
True,
Here
true,
or
true.
there, somewhere you you are going to hear.
Correct.
Even while you are driving, and when some temple comes or some
Yes,
panda,
yes, very
something, it is always there.
Very true.
I think if we go on discussing or talking, it takes hours together, days together. Because her achievements is like that.
True.
And she was not behind any accolades or anything.
Nothing.
She got everything till Bharata Ratna.
Correct.
Yeah, I think well before Bhimsen Joshi, I think.
Yes. Almost, I think 10 or 15 years before.
Before that. Later on, they gave to Bismillah Khan, Ravi Shankar.
Pandit Ravi Shankar, yes.
And Bhimsen
Lata ji was
Joshi.
also. Lata Mangeshkar ji.
Lata Mangeshkar. Very few. That's what came to know. Only in the field of music only, so many of them have got Bharata Ratna.
Yes. Correct.
It was really great to hear so many things about that, where we might have not heard. Of course, it may be recorded in some documentaries or in book, but still so many things will be missing.
Yes. There is one more anecdote which I thought I will share.
Please.
Which is a very interesting anecdote, which I, this was sometime after she passed away. Around 2010, in my house in Bangalore, I was casually listening to one Kannada program. I think Z Kannada.
Yeah.
They used to have a program called Crime Series, in which it was a half an hour or 1 hour program. Crime story.
Depending on crimes.
9 to 10, based on real life crimes. It is not a story based on real life. So some interesting story which is happening in that area or in Karnataka. So what they will do is they will show the pictures of the persons or the characters, but some of the scenes, like suppose it's a robber who is stealing, they will not show the same person. They will use some person to climb the house and all. But it will be almost made like a real story. But it is based on real incidents only. So as I was listening to that story, I heard that, the police inspector was speaking. He was mentioning about one robbery which happened in Koramangala. One very rich man's house, it was robbed. And they could not catch the thief. After 8 months or so, they caught that person in Coimbatore. Thief and his accomplice, they were all brought to Koramangala station. And they were interrogated by the police. The police asked that man, how did you steal? He said, sir, we used to go on a cycle around that area. Whichever house has got newspapers accumulated, we will know that the owner is not there. Because, so that house we will target for robbery. And the same house, nobody was there, so we did the robbery in the night. It was a very major theft in those days, probably reported in papers and all. So the police were surprised because it's a major robbery. But in the first floor of the house, in one particular room where a lot of money was there, the door was open but nothing was touched. They were surprised. Why did you not take money from this room? As the persons were speaking in the TV, I was also listening. Suddenly one picture of MS Amma came in the room, in the TV. I was wondering what they are showing. There's no relative. So they showed that picture of MS Amma in a green sari and looking down. That same photo they focused. And this thief said, I opened the room to steal. As they put the torch and searched, he saw MS Amma's photo. Immediately after seeing her photo, he felt very ashamed. He said that I cannot steal when this Amma is looking at me. And he closed that room and came out. So I was really amazed at even when a person is doing wrong, that much influence she has on the mind of a person. This is really remarkable. Even in the mind of a thief. She has at some stage in his life, he must have probably heard the Suprabhatam or Vishnu Sahasranamam. And that goodness in him.
He belongs to Madurai or something, you told.
No, he was caught in Coimbatore.
Coimbatore, maybe.
He must have even been from Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or different state.
Chances of more of listening to
Listening. And he has listened probably and to look at her picture and say that I feel ashamed to steal. I was in fact, I was myself moved when I heard that statement from the thief. The inspector is narrating all this.
Yeah, after hearing this, we can say more of the photos will be there. Anyhow, see the effect.
The effect,
there.
that is that the spirituality in her has touched something in his heart. That even
to
though
that person who
even the
came to
person
rob.
who is committing a robbery or something, that one moment when he looked at her photo, he felt that I should not do. That is that is what defines her. Even today, that spirit of my grandmother still prevails all over. That respect which she has, that influence which she has.
Of course.
So
Wherever, somewhere, sometime you may hear Chino. That's there. Anyway, sir, thank you. You've given.
welcome, sir.
You've told so much of about MS Amma, their family, your mother, and I wish this will continue once again. Now you have grandson and daughter.
Yes.
No doubt they will continue on the lineage.
Yes. Thank
you for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming here, sharing all the things that you know about MS Amma and her concert career and her way of singing, presenting the concert, preparing the concert.
Yes,
It's a
very
lesson
true.
for all of us.
Very true.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಸಂಗೀತದವರು, ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿದ್ಧತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್, ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಮೈನ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು MS ಅಮ್ಮ ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನು ಇವರು ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸನ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೇಳಿ, ನೋಡಿ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಮಾಲಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಸಾಧಕರೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೈ ನೋಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.